Welcome to this podcast for Brighton School of Business and Management students studying for the HNC and HND Level 4 and 5 courses. This unit is all about professional and personal development, and I think the underlying principle of the unit is that the chances of achieving personal and professional goals is greatly increased if they are formalised into a written development plan that you can then implement, review and where necessary modify depending on changing circumstances and perhaps changes in your own values and aspirations. On to section 1. Bullet point 1 is asking you for an evaluation of different ways of approaching self-managed learning. So keep in mind that an evaluation is more than just a description of the different alternatives that are available. You need to look at the advantages and disadvantages of alternative approaches, but you could also look at how different approaches might be used in different circumstances. And remember, this unit is very much about personal as well as professional development, so you need to look beyond just development for the workplace. Bullet point 2 is about encouraging personal and professional development, and you could look at this in two ways. I think first of all, you could look at how your own lifelong learning could be encouraged and facilitated, but you could also look at how, as a manager, you could encourage lifelong learning in other people, either people that you manage or people that you work with. And finally, bullet point 3, here again you need to make an evaluation with reference to both individual and organisational benefits. Section 2. This section is looking now at your own development needs and taking you sequentially through the process of developing your own development plan. Bullet point 1 is asking you to have a look at where you are now in terms of skills and competencies, and I think the more honest and carefully thought out this part of the assignment is, the more relevant and valuable the resulting development plan will be. So, having made an honest evaluation of your current skills and competencies, bullet point 2 is asking you now to look at how this translates into development needs and what you need to do in order to meet these needs. You're being asked specifically what opportunities you can exploit to help you meet current development needs, and very importantly, don't forget to define and have a look at how to meet any future needs, development needs that you might have. And then you need to put all this into a formalised action plan, and this will form the basis for your future personal and professional development activities. On to section 3 and the implementation and ongoing review of your personal and professional development plan. Bullet point 1 is looking at what you need to do in order to implement your plan. As well as the processes and activities of implementation, you might want to think as well about some of the problems or the conflicts that might have to be overcome. Bullet point 2 is making a very relevant point here. It is important that your development plan gives you the opportunity to record and also reflect on your various development activities as you go along. If you don't do that, and if you try to, say, review your plan once a year, it's very unlikely that you'll be able to record just how valuable some of these various development activities have been during the year unless you were recording something about them at the time. And finally, as I mentioned at the beginning of the podcast, it's very likely that your personal and professional development plan will need updating at some time. This may not be just because you feel that your development strategy or your activities are not allowing you to meet your objectives, but you might want to change or review your development plan because perhaps your objectives or aspirations may have changed over time, or possibly because a new and unforeseen opportunity has come along that you want to incorporate into your plan. On to section 4. This is where you need to demonstrate how and where skills that you have acquired through your professional development activities have been used within your workplace. And I think how easy it is for you to answer this question will depend on several things. First of all, on how long you've been embracing the idea of lifelong learning, what skills you have acquired, and also just the nature of your workplace. But essentially what we're looking for here is for you to demonstrate how you have identified a workplace problem, how your interpersonal and acquired skills have been used to overcome the problem or problems, and also possibly some thoughts on what additional skills you feel you would have allowed you to overcome this problem or these problems more effectively. Bullet point 2, I think, is looking for an understanding of the idea that different situations and the different people in the workplace environment need handling in different ways, and that good interpersonal skills are important in all workplace situations. On to the last bullet point. I'll emphasise again the point here that you're being asked to make an evaluation, so not just a description of the different time management strategies available, but you need to look at their strengths and weaknesses and perhaps why some strategies work better in certain situations than others. And where the bullet point refers to the use of effective time management strategies, I think it would help your assignment here if you could relate the use of time management to the implementation and evaluation of your lifelong learning strategy. There is an interesting talk about work-life balance and personal goal setting on the TED website, a presentation by Nigel Marsh on how to make the work-life balance work.
It's up to us as individuals to take control and responsibility for the type of lives that we want to lead. If you don't design your life, someone else will design it for you, and you may just not like their idea of balance.
And you can see the full 10-minute talk if you go to this web address, or you can go to the TED website, www.ted.com, and type Nigel Marsh into the search box. Finally, if you need any further guidance or assistance with your assignment, please contact your tutor.